Top focus this hour, the Delhi High Court has suspended the life sentence of course, we're talking about the life sentence awarded to expelled BJP leader Kuldeep Singh Sengar, who was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment by the trial court in the Unnao rape case. A division bench comprising of Justice Subramaniam Prasad and Justice Harish Vaidyanath Shankar, while pronouncing the order, have said, and I quote, "We are suspending the sentence, personal bond of rupees 15 lakh with 3 sureties of like amount not to complete come within 5-kilometer radius of the residence of the victim, directed to stay in Delhi during the pendency of the appeal, ensure that he is available for completing remaining part of the sentence if he is found guilty, directed not to threaten the victim survivor or her mother, deposit his passport with the trial court. Sengar is also directed to report to local police stations once every week. In fact, on Monday 10 a.m. is what the order says. My colleague Sambhav Sharma with us on the broadcast to give us an update. Sambhav, what exactly is the information that we're tracking? What exactly does this order tell us?
Well, it's a big relief to Kuldeep Singh Sengar, who is the former MLA of the BJP. And in the 2017 rape case, Unnao rape case, the infamous Unnao rape case, where the matters were transferred to Delhi from Uttar Pradesh in 2019 after Supreme Court intervention. So in this particular case, there is a big development from the Delhi High Court, where the Delhi High Court, a two-judge bench, has not just suspended his jail sentence in this particular case, but also given conditional bail, granted conditional bail. The two-judge bench of the Delhi High Court, Justice Subramaniam Prasad and Justice Harish Vaidyanath Shankar, two-judge bench of the Delhi High Court has granted conditional bail. And now what are these conditions? As you rightly pointed out, the conditions include: one, furnishing of the 15 lakhs of personal bond with 3 sureties of the same amount. Another very important, stringent rather condition, strict condition imposed, the bail condition imposed, is that the Delhi High Court has directed Kuldeep Singh Sengar not to enter within 5 kilometers radius of the survivor's residence, the rape survivor's residence, and not to threaten or influence the survivor or her mother. The bench, the two-judge bench of the Delhi High Court, while granting relief, while granting bail to Kuldeep Singh Sengar in 2017 Unnao rape case, has warned Sengar of, if found violating the above bail conditions,
right,
his bail would be cancelled. So these are the bail conditions. He's granted bail and the suspension of his jail sentence. Remember, he was earlier given a life sentence, a lifer, by the trial court in this particular case.
Okay.
And,
all right, Sambhav, we'll come back to you, but let's first put out the details of this case. Of course, my colleague Sambhav was talking over there about the details, but let's give you an understanding on this case that dates back to 2017. What exactly happened then? The details there flashing on your screen. 17-year-old lured away to Kanpur on a pretext of a job. So that's when it all started. We're talking about a 17-year-old girl who was told that she would be getting a job. But what happened after that? Sengar's relative, Shashi's son, eloped with the girl. So that's what happened after this. Let's quickly move on to the next slide, please. Kuldeep wanted relative's son to marry this girl, the 17-year-old girl that we are talking about. The girl was taken to Kuldeep's house and gang raped. So this incident, in fact, took place in June of 2017. No action was taken against Kuldeep Sengar despite the FIR that was put in place. Meanwhile, Kuldeep Sengar filed false complaints against the family of the surviving victim that we are talking about. In 2018, Kuldeep's brother Atul Singh beat up the victim's father. So that's of course what took place in 2018. Unnao police then arrested victim's father for possessing firearms. So there was of course the beating up of the father, and then there was a false case that was also put out. The victim tried to immolate herself on April 8th is when this incident took place, and it took place, of course, 1 year after the incident took place. Her father unfortunately died in custody, and the post-mortem in fact showed internal bleeding and bruises. So when he was there in custody, after that the post-mortem came out and there was internal bleeding that was put in that report. Kuldeep continued to threaten the family even after the arrest. That's again something that happened with regards to this case. One of the key witnesses, in fact, died under strange circumstances as well. So we've seen, of course, a lot happening since 2017 up until 2018. The car carrying the victims met with an accident in 2019, and that was, of course, thoroughly probed to see whether there was any malpractice that was over there or whether it was an incident that took place. Let's go on to the next slide, please. To give you an understanding on what exactly happened. All right, so we've put out the details from 2017 when the incident took place up until 2019, where of course we're talking about the accident that took place. There was an investigation that took place in order to understand whether this was a mere accident but something that was done on purpose, and those are the details that we are tracking. In fact, joining us at this point in time is Rudra Vikram Singh with us on the broadcast. He is an advocate of the Supreme Court. Sir, thank you for your time speaking to us on Newsx. What exactly do you make of this decision that has been put out by the Delhi High Court?
See, there was an appeal by the accused Kuldeep Singh against his conviction, and there is a generally when we file an appeal, we file one application along with that appeal. During that appeal, the sentence has during the appeal is not on the merit, the case on its merit, because to decide an appeal it will take some time. It might take some years. So during that deciding that appeal, High Court has suspended its sentence, but imposed some conditions also, that he will not go to the place of the victim, 5-kilometer radius. He will and he will be in Delhi. Most of the time he will be in Delhi, and he'll not leave the country. The passport has to be seized. So there are certain conditions which is for the safety of the victim, and this is, again, I would say, this is not on the merit base. So we should not raise any question about this order, because during the pendency of appeal, only the sentence has been suspended, and once the appeal will be decided, that appeal will be decided on merit whether he is convicted or not.
Right, absolutely. I request you to stay on with us. With us on the broadcast is also Ms. Brinda Adige joining us at this point in time. Ma'am, thank you for speaking to us on Newsx. What exactly do you make of this decision that has been made by the Delhi High Court after what all took place in 2017? We've just put out all those details, and as well as the attempts that were made in 2019.
First and foremost, it is so disheartening that a court passes something like this and says not on the merits of the case, but on so-and-so thing. So we are suspending, and he's been given conditions that in this age and time when the communication technology is at its height, he doesn't have to go. He has his chelas and stooges and rowdies who will go there and thugs who will go. That is what they did with the family. The father died. Because of that, the family was put to so much of trouble and is still put to so much of trouble. And how is it that the court says all these things? Because it is the letter of the law that they are looking at. So what happens to the spirit of the law? We must not address it. We must not question it. And every time, somebody will say, you mustn't question it. It is sub judice. When it comes, then the verdict will come. If it was my child, or if it was me, would I be happy with something like this? Would I feel confident about the courts? Would I feel that, yes, the police have taken all measures to ensure that the victim and her family is not harassed and bothered again? We have seen on your TV channel how badly she was treated. The intimidation, the police could do nothing about the intimidation. The police does not know that there is victim and witness protection scheme that we have in our country, and based on that they have to extend all of those things. No, they didn't do anything. The question arises, so what is it that you're trying to say? If you are rich, you're powerful, and you have political patronage, then the victim, it is a gone case. The rapist murderer can get away with loopholes that are present in either the protocols or the letter of the law. Then where is this trust and confidence that anybody can have, ordinary citizens can have in the courts, in the judiciary? Where else can we go? There's nowhere else. You are our last resort. And you use all of these various nice words in English and find fault where you can say, now I can send him out. But I put conditions over there. So he cannot go in there. But if his dog dies, he can go to bury the dog in his hometown. Because, Papa, the dog cannot be buried in Delhi. I think we need to start asking questions. Enough of this colonial judiciary that is doing everything and says, don't question, don't ask me. The case is still going on. From 2017, we're talking of all of this after Nirbhaya, when the Justice Verma Commission has so clearly said, fast track these cases. They're making a mockery.
Right, absolutely.
Not
Ma'am,
only of the law.
I request you to stay on with us. Ms. Alka Lamba, Congress leader, also with us on the broadcast. Ma'am, thank you for your time speaking to us on Newsx. Now, what exactly do you make of this decision that has been made by the Delhi High Court? Because the charges are as follows. This man has been charged for raping a 17-year-old woman who approached him on the pretext of getting a job. Aided a brutal assault of the victim's father, orchestrated a truck incident in 2019, critically injuring the victim and killing the two aunts. What exactly do you make of the decision in the backdrop of all of this?
देखिए, मुझे लगता है ये सवाल सीधा देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ जी से पूछे जाना चाहिए। क्या संदेश जा रहा है? क्या संदेश जा रहा है? बेटी बचाओ का नारा दिया ना, बिल्कुल बेटियां बचाना अब और मुश्किल हो गया है, और मुश्किल हो गया। अब आप ये भी समझ जाइए क्यों हम फांसियों की मांग करते हैं। जब नाबालिग बेटियों के साथ बलात्कार करने वाला सत्ताधारी होता है, सत्ता में होता है, विधायक, सांसद, मंत्री होते हैं और पूरी सरकार, सत्ता, सिस्टम उनके साथ खड़ा होता है, तब ऐसे ही फैसले आते हैं, तब ऐसे फैसले आते हैं, है ना। तो इसीलिए हम फांसी की मांग करते हैं। पोक्सो कानून में प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ चिल्ड्रन फ्रॉम सेक्सुअल अफेंस, नाबालिग बेटी के बलात्कार में दोषी करार होने पर फांसी की सजा है, पर उम्र कैद की सजाओं के बाद तमाशा बन चुका है। एक नहीं, कितने नाम बताऊं जो पैरोल पे अभी अभी बाहर आए हैं, उन सबको उम्र कैद की सजा, दोषी करार देने के बाद उम्र कैद की सजाएं सुनाई गई हैं और वो सब के सब आज पैरोल पर बाहर हैं। किसका किसका इनको सपोर्ट मिल रहा है? अगर सत्ता का सपोर्ट नहीं है तो हम मांग करते हैं देश के प्रधानमंत्री और मुख्यमंत्रियों से इन फैसलों के खिलाफ खुलकर सामने आए और बोले ये बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। जिन्हें दोषी करार देकर फांसी होनी थी, उम्र कैद हुई है, उन्हें पैरोल पर, बेल पर बाहर नहीं आने दिया जाएगा। अगर आप कहेंगे ये कानून है, वो कानून के से उनको अदालतों से पैरोल और बेल मिल रही है, तो बदल दीजिए ऐसे कानून, क्योंकि ये संदेश साफ नहीं जा रहा। बेटियां और जो आज भी न्याय की उम्मीद लगा रहे हैं, उनकी उम्मीद तोड़ती है और अपराधियों में के हौसले बुलंद हो रहे हैं इस तरह के बेल और पैरोल और फैसलों से। महिला कांग्रेस की राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष होने के नाते जितने भी इस तरह के केसों में पैरोल या बेल मिली है, उसका हम लोग पुरजोर विरोध करते हैं, कड़ी मांग करते हैं। फैसले वापस लीजिए, इन्हें जेलों में ठूसिए, ताकि जो आज हमारी बेटियां हैं वो असुरक्षित महसूस ना करें। आप सोचिए, जिस बेटी के मामले में ये अंदर गए हैं, उस बेटी, उस परिवार पर क्या बीत रही होगी और उन पे खतरा मंडराना शुरू हो चुका है। अगर कुछ भी इन परिवारों के साथ होता है तो दोषी कोई और नहीं, देश के प्रधानमंत्री, मुख्यमंत्री उत्तर प्रदेश के होंगे।
जी बिल्कुल। Ma'am, with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing our perspectives with us. We're also being joined by Mumtaz Sheikh, advocate of the Supreme Court. Thank you for your time. And I'd like to understand from you, given the gravity of the charges, what do you make of the Delhi High Court's order? Should a convict like him be out of jail given the kind of charges that are there in place?
Look, being from advocate aspect or being an advocate, I would say my opinion as per the law only.
Yes.
because there is a law. It's not yet decided, right? Appeal is still pending. Then let the court decide. We are nothing to give our personalized opinion based on the emotions. Yes, being a woman, I can understand this kind of crime hurt the society, the gravity of the crime hurt the society. It plays with our sentiments as well. But being from a legal aspect, the suspension of sentence is right because he has undergone the substantial part of the sentence. What we expect? What do we expect? If the appeal gets pending for 15 years, he should be in jail for 15 years. No. From legal aspect or from the legal fraternity, the court is right on its own statements and own judgments.
All right, ma'am, with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with us on Newsx. Of course, we're tracking very crucial information at this point in time. Mr. Rudra Vikram Singh, advocate of the Supreme Court, continues to be with us on the broadcast. And sir, I'd like to understand from you the terms that have been set by the Delhi High Court, where they say that there shouldn't be contact, or the person should not be in a 5-kilometer radius of the victim. He's been directed to stay in Delhi during the pendency of the appeal, made to be available for completing the remaining part of the sentence if guilty. What exactly do you make of these terms that have been put out?
See, the term has been imposed just because of the safety of that girl, that victim. Because the trial has been concluded. He has been sentenced. He has been sentenced for life imprisonment. So there is no requirement of that victim to be examined, to be cross-examined. That steps has already been passed. There is nothing that victim will be called in witness box, and she will be examined. But just for the safety purpose, what your earlier spokesperson were telling, that they were showing concern about the safety of that girl. So the court has also showed the concern about the safety of that girl, and they said that he will not make any contact. He will not even go to that area 5 years radius. In that area, he will be away from the 5 years radius of the location of that victim. So that just only court has made certain observation regarding this, just only for the safety of that girl. And from the legal perspective, it is very valid order, because let's suppose the appeal will be pending for next 10 to 15 years. Let's suppose appeal will be decided on behalf of
Okay.
this
All right.
accused
Sir,
person.
I'm just going to request you to, sort out your connectivity issue. We're facing a little bit of problems over there with you. But in the interim, let me put out some breaking news that we're tracking very closely. Kuldeep Singar will remain in custody as he has not yet granted bail in the victim's father's custodial death matter. That's an update that we're tracking very closely at this point in time. Major updates there coming in our way as we speak. So again, like I said, Sengar is yet to be in custody, given the fact that he hasn't been granted bail in the victim's father's custodial death matter. That's the update that we are tracking at this point in time. Let me quickly rope in Ms. Sonali Chopra, advocate of the High Court, who's joining us at this point in time. Ma'am, thank you for your time speaking to us on Newsx. What exactly do you make of this decision that has been made by the Delhi High Court, where they've suspended the life sentence of Kuldeep Singh Sengar in the Unnao rape case?
And keeping aside the unfortunate facts that precede the case and the background of the matter, legally speaking, as per law, suspension of sentence is provided for, and the order as passed, or as has been reported, or as we have witnessed in court, fulfills the requirement of law. The conditions are there. It's a reasoned order. All of it is there, and it's correct that the 10-year sentence for the other case is still in force, and there is no suspension of bail with respect to that at the moment. So this suspension is only with respect to the life imprisonment, and I'm guessing in light of the fact that he's already served part or major portion or some part of the sentence. So legally speaking, as per law, it's an order which will stand the test of the law.
All right. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with us on Newsx. Let me quickly open my colleague Sambhav Sharma, who's with us at this point in time. Sambhav, of course, a major update that we're tracking right now is that Kuldeep Singar will remain in custody because he's not been granted bail yet. With regards to the victim's father's custodial death that took place. So, what exactly is the information that we're tracking?
Well, absolutely. There are many cases related to 27 Unnao, this rape and murder, this particular case, Unnao rape case. And here, the major update, in a way, is that even if Delhi High Court has granted bail to Kuldeep Singh Sengar, but in another case, which is already going on in the custodial death of, victim's father, in that particular case, no bail has been granted. So, all in all, he'll have to remain in jail. So, he is not coming out of jail, keeping in mind this another case, victim's father custodial death matter, where the matter is already going on. And here, he is in jail. In that matter, there is no bail granted. So, although the Delhi High Court has granted bail in 2017 Unnao rape case, and also in stringent conditions been imposed, but Kuldeep Singh Sengar, till the time this particular case is not clear and is not granted bail in this particular case, till that time he is not coming out of jail. Is another in a way update in this particular case. However, if we talk about the stringent conditions being imposed by the Delhi High Court while granting a bail to Kuldeep Singh Sengar and also suspending his sentence till the time this particular case is going on. So what is important here is that he cannot meet the victim, or rather forget about meeting the victim. He cannot go in the 5 kilometers radius. And here the Delhi High Court, it seems, because such we generally we every day report different important court stories, but here what is important is that this kind of bail condition is in a way unparalleled. I have not heard this kind of bail condition so far, and this is not just stringent but also a message of the Delhi High Court two-judge bench to Kuldeep Singh Sengar that this is what he'll have to
All right,
follow.
absolutely. Sambhav, I will come back to you momentarily, but joining us at this point in time is Ms. Yogita Bhayana, social activist. Ma'am, thank you for your patience, and I'd like to understand from you, what essentially is the message that is being sent to other rape victims given the order that has just been put out by the Delhi High Court?
See, the message to other rape victims is that you will hardly get justice in this country, or you might not be getting justice. Unfortunately, I was just talking to the survivor in this case, who barely survived because, the way she was about to be killed by this monster, and how he killed the father. She just survived miraculously, and that time I met her. I was just talking to her. She was only crying. She was just crying, and she was saying exactly what you just now said. Ma'am, if I have not got justice, what do you think other rape victims will ever get justice? Which is such an open and shut case. And how are we supposed to live in this kind of environment? She has a brother who's very young, who's going to school. She is fearing for his life, fearing for her mother's life. Her lawyer was also killed, and her aunt was killed. Her father was killed. It seems like a movie story to us, right? And we keep enjoying cheap thrills, watching cheap movies like Dhurandhar and action for no reason. But here we have the real life story, and nobody will stand with this victim. People just want fiction in this country, and the fiction, unfortunately, resonates with the situation what she's going through. It's so unfortunate. She's so heartbroken, and of course we also are very heartbroken. We are trying to put her in track. She was trying to get back to life. She was with us 2 days ago. She was very happy that, we could do so much, in rehabilitation. Mentally, she was getting better, and now this news comes in. What do you think? Put ourselves in her place. It's shattering. It is completely shattering. And for her, for me, and for, I think, all the girls of the country, all the women of the country, and especially who have faced such brutality. There is no hope. I'm sorry to say, I don't know what went in the head of judiciary, and I was so appalled to hear the other speaker on your panel just now. The advocate was defending the law, like how she was like justifying that, okay, I mean, everything, went in his favor. He's following the law. I mean, what rubbish she was talking, being a lawyer. Don't they get any etiquette and any moral education as being a law profession? They don't have any duty towards humanity or being women. I mean, very unfortunate. I don't see any ray of hope. I'm so appalled by this order.
Right, ma'am, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us and sharing your perspectives with us on Newsx. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of India has given a set of 5 conditions for suspending the life imprisonment sentence of Kuldeep Singh Sengar. Let's put out all those conditions that have been laid. Remember, this case is pertinent. It happened in 2017, and these are the conditions that have been put out by the Delhi High Court when they say that number 1 is that Sengar cannot come within a 5-kilometer radius of the residence of the victim. That's condition number 1 that has been put out. Number 2, directed to stay in Delhi during the pendency of the appeal. Number 3, we're going to put out very quickly, to be made available for completing remaining part of the sentence if found guilty. Number 4, they're flashing right on your screens, directed to not threaten the victim, survivor, or the mother of the victim. And finally, number 5, that's now flashing on your screens, directed to report to local police stations once every week. So those are the 5 conditions that have been put out by the Delhi High Court while they give out the order in this case, and those are again the conditions that have been put out. My colleague Sambhav Sharma still with us on the broadcast. Sambhav, what exactly has the reaction been like following the order that has been put out?
Well, there are mixed reactions. Few people, as our panelists have earlier said, the few people are defending judiciary, not questioning judiciary, but on the other hand, there are a few people who are questioning the judiciary as well. Factually speaking, reporting on the facts, what the Delhi High Court two-judge bench, see a copy of the order, when we read the copy of the order, we will get to know exactly in detail what was going on in judge's mind while granting this bail to Kuldeep Singh Sengar. The Delhi High Court two-judge bench, learned 2 judges of the Delhi High Court granted a bail to the former BJP leader Kuldeep Singh Sengar. But the conditions imposed are quite stringent in nature, where the Sengar cannot approach the victim, and you forget about approaching, cannot go in 5 years of the radius of the victim. That's quite stringent. And 15 lakhs of the bail, personal bail bond with 3 sureties, another big condition. Cannot, he cannot go out of Delhi. He'll have to be in Delhi, and also will have to report to the police station. So these are, obviously surrendering the passport is a general common bail condition generally imposed by the courts while granting bail to accused. So these all are the bail conditions imposed by the Delhi High Court. And then a conditional bail has been granted, clarifying. Delhi High Court was very clear. Clarifying that any of the bail conditions is diluted, even the bail could be cancelled. So here the message to from the Delhi High Court is one in a way clear. However, when the detailed order copy reaches us, when we read that detailed order copy, we'll get to know what exactly was the logic behind and why this particular bail is granted in this particular 2017 Unnao case. However, the sensitivity, seriousness, gravity of this particular case is, could be understood from the fact that in 2017, all the trials in 2019, the trials and other cases were transferred to the national capital by none other than the top court of the country, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court also intervened in 2019. This obviously shows the gravity of this particular case. However, it is also to be seen what people in general will have to say. But we are waiting for the final order copy of the Delhi High Court so that we can exactly say what exactly was going on in the Delhi High Court's mind while granting this
Sambhav, I
particular
also want to
conditional
understand from you, there are 5 conditions that have been put out. They're talking about the 5-kilometer radius. But I also want to understand from you, in addition to these 5 terms that have been put out, are there any further terms that have been put out in order to enhance the safety of the surviving victim? What was the conversation like, or what was it like when it comes to that aspect of the conversation?
Well, exactly this is what I'm talking about. When we get the copy of the order, the detailed order of the 2-judge bench of the Delhi High Court, see, it is today's order, so probably by evening or by tomorrow I will get the copy of the order. Then we will be in a position to specifically say what exactly was the logic given by the Delhi High Court while granting this conditional bail. But anyways, Kuldeep Singh Sengar is already, in jail in another case, the custodial death of victim's father case, and the case is going on. So, he is not coming out of jail because of this particular case. The case is going on, and another 2017 Unnao rape case is granted bail by the Delhi High Court. So, these are the facts of the matter.
All right, Sambhav, thank you so much for sharing all those details with us. On that note, we're going to slip into a quick short break. Thanks for watching.